But I want to ask you, are mentally tough people born or do they become it?
I think it's both. I think some are actually born with some genetic freakishness. I was not. And I couldn't read as a junior in high school, where I hid out, where I got called nigger, where I got beat so badly that I became afraid of every motherfucker that ever lived on the planet Earth. Everybody. I had to reinvent a human being. I sat at home for so many fucking nights by myself, broken not just physically, mentally, spiritually. I'm like, fuck, man, I was fucked up. But then I sat back and said to myself, I invented a motherfucker. I actually sat back when I was fat, nasty, out of shape, miserable, and created a human being in my mind that didn't even exist, and said, that's what I want to be. I want to be that guy. I want to be a guy that's capable of doing exactly what I'm doing today. And you have to, if you weren't born that guy, that mentally strong guy, he can be made. Woman, man, whatever the hell you are, it can be made. But in making that person, you have to be able to turn down book deals. You have to be who the fuck you are every day of your life, and never care about anybody who gets in your way that says you're not doing something the proper way. When you get beat as bad as I did, I lied all the time. I wanted to be accepted and loved and all that shit, that I created about 50 people. Whatever you like, I like. Just if you would be my friend, just be my friend. And that's where we get lost in life.
Okay, so what do you say to the girl or guy sitting in this audience that has got a bit of a predisposition to want to be liked by many or most?
If you don't get over that, you're doomed. Because what happens is this: you start to create a whole bunch of people that aren't even yourself. You never figure out who you are. You never live up to your dreams, your ambition. You live up to what whoever is around you that you like so much, that you want to emulate and be like so much. You live their dreams. You lose your power. You lose your power. The ultimate power is owning yourself.
I'm trying to work out, can change happen? Can change happen if you don't have total darkness? Because you've had terrible upbringing. Your first half of your life sounds extremely challenging. You had a disadvantage to start off with, right? But what if there's people that haven't had darkness? Can they actually do a change?
They can. And I get that question a lot. While it helps you, it also hurts you to come from darkness, because why? It's easy for me to sit back and say, you know what? Poopy pants mentality. I want to sit back and let the world take care of me now. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't play sick too long. While my childhood was so messed up, I played sick way too long, and I almost lost tons of opportunities by playing sick. Because it feels good to play sick. My dad beat the fucking shit out of me, man. I couldn't read. I can't read. You know, when I was a junior in high school, I couldn't read. If you live that life, yeah, it feels good for people to, oh man, you know, that's just David, man. He's just not real smart, and he had a bad life, and you get a get out of jail free card. That's nice. It sucks doing what I had to do to get here today. That was not fucking fun. That darkness is, there's nothing that dark to drive me to the places I had to go to become successful. On the flip side of that, if you come from a silver spoon family, you have to realize that. You have to realize, fuck, there's people out there like David Goggins who had nothing, fucking nothing. And I've had all this opportunity in front of me, and I'm a loser. I'm not shit. So what does that say about me? The conversations are very similar. You have all this opportunity, and you've gone nowhere with it. I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and it could take me a lot longer just to get where you're at. for the starting line to be fair. So the moral of the story.
Do you hate your father?
Do I hate him? No. So when he died, I'm getting to your question now. I was at a really bad time in my life, 300 pounds, scared of the water, scared of life. Fucking my demons are just flying around my head every day. So I realized that whenever times would get hard for me, I would fucking quit. And I would work my ass off. I taught myself how to read and write. I taught myself how to swim. But whenever something would crest just high enough to where I just couldn't mentally handle it, I would always just punch out. And this right here is you pulling your parachute and pulling a reserve is why I'm doing this. So basically, you'd always just punch out and you fucking quit and go back to where you started. I'm not good enough. And I wondered, why is my mind so fucked up? And I think a lot. And I said, you know what, man, this shit started in Buffalo with my father. I hadn't seen him now for 12 years. So I drove from Indiana to Buffalo, New York to visit my father. And while we didn't say anything to each other, you know, he tried to, you know, do whatever he does, and he didn't say sorry, but only went back there to study the demon. I never studied him before. And come to find out, years later, I found out that he's afraid of the dark. He died at 79 years old. He's afraid of the dark. I didn't know this. He had a whole bunch of demons himself. While he never said sorry, I was able to understand a little bit more about the fucking enemy. And when you understand the enemy more, it makes sense to why if nothing makes sense to you, you always wonder why. So those demons keep on flying around. I knew why. His dad beat the fuck out of him. Bad. The stories I heard were so horrible. My brother got the stories and relayed them to me. So I did my research. So never fear something until you do your research on it.
So David, you went back there with a curiosity mindset. You went there to study.
Right.
Study that. And I'm curious now. So what you're saying is, did it help you? Have you forgiven him?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Seriously, I don't know if I forgave him. I understand. Why do I understand? Because it's fucking hard. When your dad, when your mom, when you get beat and you don't fix yourself, and then you get a family, when you don't fix yourself, if you're 20 years old, you get a girl pregnant, you're not ready for that. When you're a young kid, 4, 5, 6, I'm not like giving him a get out of jail free card. The man needed fucking help and never got it. So therefore, me, my mom, my brother got demonized. We got fucked up. So I understand where the demon came from.
So there's a possibility this may have been generation after generation after generation.
Right.
And what you said is, there's a strong possibility I'm going to stop this link. And you talk about he never fixed himself. You decided to fix yourself.
Right.
Two most defining moments in your life.
That drive there, because it's a fucking 8-hour drive, terrified. I had to become a man on that drive because every hour I got closer to Buffalo, I lost 5 years in age. I went from 24 to 19, and then from 19 down. And when I walked in that fucking door, I was 8 again. But when I left, I got 10 years back. I became an old man in my mind.
To the 30% of the room that indicated that their upbringing has somehow impacted their life right now, what do you say to them?
100%. 100%. With everybody in this fucking room. I'm not a shrink. I don't fucking know all that shit, but I know one thing. I'm not a practitioner. Well, I am a practitioner. Most people study shit. I actually got a chance to live it, feel it, sense it, be in it, feel the emotion of it all. And that's why I can talk about it the way I do, because I know how most people feel who are fucked up.
Your view, is life suffering?
There's a part of it that has to be about suffering. And people hate it when I post about suffering, this whole new, kinder, gentler, soft-ass fucking world. they just fucking, oh God, this is horrible. We talking about, no. Suffering, if you know how to do it without making it out to be like, oh, I'm not talking about you have to go through cancer. But I guarantee one thing, man, I bet you a better motherfucker mentally if you look at it the right way. Everything I went through in my life, every bad fucking thing I went through in my life, the 2 heart surgeries, all the name calling, everything I went through. If you learn how to flip that motherfucker on top of his head and say, hang on, there's so much power in this fucking thing. And if you look at life as it is a trial ground, a testing ground for where you need to belong, where you need to go, suffering is a fact of life. And if you look at suffering the right way, it's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it like, okay, motherfucker, you're testing me now. I get it. Whenever I'm being like depressed, I go through depressed moments, I go, oh, hang on. I'm getting tested. So you have to be aware of all the signals and signs that are being given to you from the world. One of them is if you feel bad, you're being tested. How are you going to perform under that? And that's suffering is a part of life.
Yeah, look.
Very needed.
I use a term, some of the best gifts in life come badly wrapped, you know, and for some people it's an upbringing, it's what you went through. For others, it's illness, the death of a child. Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you, David, I resonate. You know, the person that goes into a storm is a different person that comes out of the storm, but I wish it wasn't with fucking chemo, right? You know?
I can't even relate, dude. I can't even relate. What that means is this. Yeah. I invented this thing called the cookie jar when I was growing up. You know how your mom my mom, we were real poor, and she would go by and get these fucking cheap-ass cookies from Aldi's, which is like a generic grocery store, and like 50-cent cookies, and she would just dump them in this cookie jar. So sometimes you reach in the cookie jar and you pull out a fucking mint cookie, maybe a chocolate chip, maybe a peanut butter. So my cookie jar is, we forget how badass we are in hard times. And that cookie jar, look at it as a fortune cookie. You reach in that motherfucker, you pull out a fortune cookie, and you read it. What we do in life is, we've all gone through suffering. We've all gone through hard times, and we've made it. But when you're in the midst of suffering, what our mind does is this. You think about the now, and there's no strength in it. God, I'm going through cancer. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. What I've learned to do in hard times is take a step back, give myself, it's called my 1-second decision. I take a step back before I want to quit something, before something gets hard, I say, hang on there. You were one of 5 kids in an all-white school and got called nigger every fucking day. You taught yourself how to swim, how to read and write. You went through 3 fucking Navy SEAL Hell Weeks. You went through Ranger School. You went to Delta Force selection twice. You've run 200 miles. You've run 256 miles. You've done 4,000. Those are cookies. When you're running fucking a 7K while we laugh about it, it's all relative. And you're fucking hurting. You've had cancer 3 fucking times. And you're here. It's a big fucking cookie, man. So you reach in your fucking mental cookie jar, you pull that motherfucker out and you read it. Lost my brother. Cancer. Not once, not twice, 3 times. I'm still fucking here. And I'll know the rest of your life. That's just a snippet of what I fucking know. So that's what I do when times get hard, is I remind myself I'm a bad motherfucker.
Let's go for a fucking run.